Well, he's the pilot of the famed 8-Ball at River City Speedway, continuing the legacy of his grandfather. He's a regular with the Northern Outlaw Sprint Association, talking about East Grand Forks, Minnesota's Jack Croaker. He's our next guest on the Getting Up to Speed podcast. That's going to be coming up next after these messages. Dave's Home Supply specializes in cabinets, flooring, and countertops. Visit their website at daveshomesupply.com to look at products, services, financing, and even a free estimate. Are you looking for bookkeeping, payroll, or income tax services? Then check out the folks at For You Simple Bookkeeping. They are a licensed tax preparer throughout the entire United States. For more information, click on the link in the description. Well, he hails out of East Grand Forks, Minnesota, and he drives the 8-Ball Sprint car. A regular with Nos and River City Speedway, Jack Croaker. Jack, great to have you here on the Dave's Home Supply Getting Up to Speed podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, I imagine this time of the year, we're getting towards Christmas. It's a little on the cold side in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, it's not so bad so far. Normally we got snow and stuff by now, but I don't know. It was 40, 45 today, so it ain't bad so far.
Man, that's like summer weather for that time of the year.
Exactly, it is.
Wow, yeah, I think it's warmer there than it is in Cottage Grove, Oregon the last couple of days, so that definitely says something.
Yeah, normally we got snow on the ground for Thanksgiving, and it was green grass still this year, so kind of a nice change of pace.
Yes. Speaking of pace, 2023, you guys had some decent pace, made 21 features, 11 top 10s, 9 top 5s, of which 4 of them were third or better, with 4 podiums. How would you rate your 2023 outing, though, from your own perspective?
I'm happy with it. It's we've started to go more so the route if we're not having fun, don't do it type of thing. So tried to make every night more fun. Make it not we got to be here so for points, or we got to be here for sponsors. Let's do it because we want to, type of thing. And there's a million people in the stands that would trade places with any of us any night. So we're pretty fortunate to be able to do it and have fun with it. So that's the mental side we're kind of trying to take into perspective this year and in the future. So it's definitely helped a lot with just having fun at the track, and trying not to get wore out and try to be good to your crew guys so they want to keep coming back type of thing. And results show when you're having a lot more fun.
Well, and that's a great point that you bring up, is if we're not having fun while we're doing this, then why do we do it? I mean, unless we're a glutton for punishment,
Right. Which some of us might be, I guess. But
Sure.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Well, and also too, also not taking it for granted. Like at any moment, like one race could take this all away. It could, be,
Yep.
A bad wreck or just a motor. Appreciate the at bat is a saying that I've heard.
Exactly. Yeah, and another aspect for us too is like we're 100% sponsor funded. So like we try to take care of our sponsors as good as we can because they're the reason we're there. We're not there just. I don't want to sound like we're not fortunate enough or whatever the case may be, but we're super fortunate to have good partners that take care of us. So it's like allow us to do all this stuff. So it's you almost want to be more grateful for being there also, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. Makes absolute sense to me. As far as your runs, talking about those 4 podiums you had, kind of early in the year, May 19th, you were able to have a runner-up finish at River City Speedway, and I would say a pretty impressive run on July 13th. I circled that down. That was I-94 Speedway in Fergus Falls, and that was a co-sanctioned event with the IRA. So going up against some different competition, kind of a neutral site where they don't have a lot of wing sprint car racing, and you're able to pull off a podium in that place.
Yep, it just comes down to confidence for us. Like if we got the equipment to do it, I can do it, the guys can do it, and it's just putting a night together. It's been kind of scheduled for us the last couple of years is the first half of the season, I think 2 years ago, we weren't outside the top 5 for the first 11 races. Second half of the season, we didn't get a single top 5. So I don't know if it's a wore out thing, if it's a confidence thing, if it's a being down on yourself after one bad night, or what the case may be. But that's something that I'm working on personally. I'm just having a good night. If we show up to the track and the guys go, "We're going to kick ass," we're going to kick ass every time. And it's textbook on if as I'm getting my pit pass, I know if we're going to do good or not. And that's kind of something to keep track of and take notes, you know. If you don't want to be there, you ain't going to do good anyway.
Most definitely. Well, and I think it should be something said, the region that you race in, specifically River City Speedway, nothing comes easy when you got guys like Mark Dobmeyer running their weekly, Jade Hastings, the Eglin family, the Omdals.
Yep.
You know, and it's a very nice pocket with, and I was talking about this with Mark a couple weeks ago. Like it's a pocket with some talent.
That's the thing too. Is like you get guys like Austin Pearson, Mark, and Jade. They've gotten so good at River Cities. I always think that, like, if I went and raced like IRA, they got 16 cars, but it's like, in the nicest way, they got a smaller group that can win every night, I should say. We're like, through us, we got probably 12, 14, 15 cars, but I think 6 or 7 or 8 of those guys won features this year. So I feel like once you get one at River Cities with the guys that race their weekly, I feel like it starts picking off a little easier, but I don't know a nice way to put it, but it's a lot of times throughout my life, NOSA is just, we're up here by ourselves. We're not by any other race, and we're kind of just like a bunch of slappers thrown together with your stuff, you know. But
on the frontier.
Yeah, exactly. We ain't by anyone else. But then you get like IRA comes, and we have a really good showing, or like we all met in Fergus Falls and we had a really good showing. I mean, even being up here by ourselves, I mean, we get good at the tracks we have. So I feel like it is tough to win a feature on most nights with NOSA.
Well, and it was super cool that IRA was able to go to River Cities for a couple nights too, kind of to have them on your home ground.
Yep, it is cool. I hope in the future we can do something like that, like to repay the favor. You know, like if some of those tracks were like Steve Sinclair, he goes, "We need you guys at Wilmot or something." Like,
sure,
let's go, let's figure it out. Let's get all of us over there. We'd be happy to come. That'd be a blast.
Yeah, because you guys go to a couple different tracks, but River City Speedway is, the primary base for the series. But you were able to, one of your podiums, July 28th, Dakota Speedway in Mandan for the Governor's Cup, and then you backed up with a 5th place finish on the finale.
That was the worst racing night of my career, that first night at Governor's Cup. We started 3rd, Mark started 1st, Dobmeyer. It was a 30-lap race, I think. 5 to go. Mark was leading. I was in 2nd, probably a straightaway ahead of me. I caught him, passed him. I was leading, going for our first win. Led for about 9/10 of a lap, and the yellow came out, and they gave it back to him. And then Jade got me on the restart again, and we got 3rd. So we were a complete rocket ship, and I feel like we had it kind of sealed up. But then just the yellow of someone putting her on the bottom a little too slow, and they threw the yellow out.
Oh, man, heartbreak hotel.
And especially for like everyone has their off nights where like, say I can get by Jade or something like that, but to run down Mark and pass him that's kind of when you realize that you can race with them.
Sure.
And you can win races. It's just like a kind of a stepping stone,
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I watched pretty much every NOSA race this year, whether it was on the Speed Sport TV network or if it was offered on Flow. Most of that stuff is Speed Sport, but Man, there was some shows and some people are missing some good stuff.
Yeah.
Gosh, there was one with Jade and Mark, like 2 weeks in a row. One time Jade won, the next time
Yeah.
Mark won, and
Yeah.
it was fists of fury. Let's just say
Yeah.
last lap racing.
Mark usually just rips around the top, but Mark can be screaming the top, and Jade will come through the middle like it's nothing and just blow his stickers off every other night. And it's like, I don't. One thing I'll give Jade is he takes a lot of pride in his race car, and a lot of he spends a lot of time to perfect it, and it's his life, and he's very good at he's very good at what he does.
Yeah, and I mean it's just so enjoyable to watch River Cities too, because it's a place that I heard so much about. I mean, Johnny Gibson has raved that it's his favorite racetrack in the whole country, and to watch it every week, it's like, well, this is really cool. This is a great thing and a great way to showcase you guys and all the teams that inhabit. So you guys are no longer on the frontier and out of the spotlight. It kind of shines on you.
Yeah, it is cool, and you almost start taking it for granted. You know, you never realize like we could be on some podunk little, in other words, shithole, you know, every Friday night.
Sure.
But we're on an awesome racetrack. We're on a really good racetrack, and probably more than not, they put together a nice surface for us. So it usually works out in the end.
Yeah.
A lot of good fans. A lot of people love coming weekly to see 410. So it's a good thing going.
Yeah, and I mean when it's hammered down, it kind of gets stop and go a little bit. You know, going green, going yellow, going green, going yellow.
Yep.
But at the same time, when the racing is green, green is good.
Green is good.
And something that I've noted, because, you know, I'm always inputting data to my historical database and stuff, and I'll watch, and then when there's a caution, and that racetrack is really great because the announcer will say, this is who's leading, or this is the reason for the caution, this is what we got left to run, and then there's a song for like a cleanup song kind of, and then when the song's over, it's like, okay, all right, I gotta, you know, now I can go back to watching. So
intermission at a hockey game or something. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, no, it's great. You know, it's a cool place.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about you. I mean, how did all this start for you for racing? Was it something that is rooted in your family, or was it something that you're kind of a first-gener?
So what happened was my grandpa was the 8-ball, so that's why I'm the 8-ball.
Okay.
So what happened was I was 4 or something, and I'm like, Dad, I want to race BMX or whatever. Raced BMX for a year, and then at the karting track, they go, well, you got to be turning 7 or turning 6 or something like that. So Dad's like, all right, well, we're getting a go-kart. We got a go-kart race that till I was, I think, 16, 17 years old, and I went off to college. And as I'm in college, I had a buddy. He doesn't race anymore, but Alex Larson. He was driving Zamboni for the local rink, and he was racing sprint cars. And I go, if that guy can do it, I can.
Yeah.
You know? So backtrack a little bit. My family is a huge late model family. Sprint cars are the devil.
Yeah.
So my uncles are like old school pit guys. My dad and mom grew up next to late model racers. It was everything.
Well, Northern All-Star Country, right? Or Northern Stars, is that what it was called?
I don't know what it's called, but just like NLRA up here, like stuff like that.
Yes, NLRA.
So, yeah, and then like my whole childhood growing up was drawing pictures for Mitch Johnson, a local guy here, and like giving him as I'm a little kid, like the guy was my hero, you know. Mm-hmm. And then I had a buddy, Grant Boyum. He was Casey Kane's crew chief last year, or the year before, and I grew up going to daycare at his house, and he's from here, Grand Forks. And he was working for Buffalo Wild Wings at the time, and he goes, I mean, we got a nice roller for sale. And so I bought it from them, and my dad was at the lake cabin. He came home, and there was a sprint car in the shop. And he was like I couldn't tell if he wanted to kill me or like what. But then all of a sudden he pulls out his phone and hey, you want to sponsor a sprint car? You want to sponsor a sprint car? You want to sponsor a sprint car? I'm like, yo, we're going. We're racing, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, so that was pretty cool. And I wanted to be a Richard Petty 43. He goes, all right, well, I ain't helping you at all then. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, you're going to be the 8-ball like Grandpa. And I said, you got it, dude. But now I'm obviously over the moon that I am my grandpa's 8-ball. But
sure,
it was just real funny.
Well,
the way I wanted to do something different, Dad said, yeah, we'll kick rocks if you're going to do that.
Well, why was your grandpa the 8-ball? Is there a story behind that? Or
my grandpa, he owned a VFW bar, and he was just a big pool player and stuff. So he's like, oh, we'll do the 8-ball.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I was wondering if there was if the game of pool had any association.
Yeah,
clearly it does.
Yep, it did. And it's kind of cool. I mean, if I was just the number 8 right now, I feel like we would have a lot less recognition. Like when people see the 8-ball, even if you don't know who I am, you recognize the car or us. So it's kind of cool.
Well, so you've got me to the part. You got the sprint car, and I'm assuming 410s, right? Because that's all that's really offered.
Yep, that's all we have. Yep. So I just bought a roller, and then we ended up getting a 360 just so as we could. It was a good thing to learn on, you know. So we got a 360 for cheap, and then raced the full season. Then after our first season, we just got a 410, and then it grows and grows and grows and grows.
Sure. The 8-ball is rolling, literally and figuratively.
Yep.
So.
Yep, exactly.
Well, and what was that experience like? Your first time, in a big car racing a sprint car. It had to have been intimidating, scary, but at the same time, an adrenaline rush. Yeah,
exactly. We went out to some a little track an hour from here, Devil's Lake Speedway, and they had a test come soon. And me and my girlfriend and my buddy went out there, and we're like, all right, I'm going to be the best in the world, like obviously. And I just turned a couple laps at my girlfriend, wife now, record it, and I'm like, so when do I start going? And she's like, no, that's as fast as you go. I'm like, wow, we got a lot to go, but
sure. Yeah. Prairie, North Dakota, Devil's Lake Speedway.
Love that place.
Yeah. They didn't have any NOSA races there, did they, last year?
So the thing with our thing with them is they're awesome. Or I don't want to even refer to just them, but like for us, we're sprint cars, 410 sprint cars up here by ourselves. Mm-hmm. Our closest track is Houston at 5 hours, Knoxville at 8 hours. So it's not like we're in Ohio where tracks have to have competition towards each other. Like, well, we're going to get these guys on Friday nights. We're going to pay them a little more. We're going to get them. No, we're going to pay them more. We're going to give them so money. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. There's no competition. There's no reason. And it's all kind of smaller tracks that are like down home fun race tracks. You got your hobby stocks and B-mod specials, late models every once in a while type of thing. So for us to go to a lot of these places is really hard for them to draw a crowd enough to pay us.
Yeah.
So we all love all these tracks, but you got to understand both sides of the story. They're mom and pop speedways. They're not Knoxville racing. They can't just justify paying a purse that you pick.
Yes.
So you want to respect them in that way. And a lot of them, they can't, like the cities they're by can't afford or can't justify giving up an ambulance. Mm-hmm. So that's something that with Mark getting burned last year and a couple of people getting hurt or Mark breaking his back a couple of years ago, we kind of just decided as a club, if we can't have an ambulance there, it's a track we're going to have to politely pass type of thing. And then it's tough for them to afford. And you got to respect that and understand that because they're doing their best to keep the doors open too. As much as you want to be there, you can't be mad that they don't pay you what you want to be paid.
Well, and also you can't. You just have to have good faith that things will turn around or things will get better in the future, and you don't want to have them break the bank for you the one time you want to go.
Exactly, and all these places we love going, but we understand the reason that we can't. So.
Yeah. I mean, like I was telling you before, backlogging a bunch of NOSA results and everything, and Buffalo River has been on the stop, Red River Valley. I mean, River Cities though, that's the hub.
It is the hub. Yeah, we're all from here.
And Victory Lane Speedway, there'd be some trips up to Winnipeg
Yep.
a couple of times.
I think everyone started getting too many DUIs and we couldn't cross the border, so it's screwing everyone's points.
Well, I was wondering why there was no races in Winnipeg, but no, you just solved that mystery. So.
Yeah, half the drivers couldn't go, I suppose. So then you're like, well, it's unfair to let him win points or whatever.
Sure, yeah. But you guys got a decent contingent of travelers, with the Kennedy family and Balkan, the Balkans ran some.
Yep, couple Canadians.
Yeah.
But since COVID, we haven't had any, which is tough, but it's life.
Yeah, things happen. I feel like racing in itself, there's some places that are still adjusting and still trying to get on their feet on solid ground.
Exactly. Trying to keep the doors open even.
Yes, yeah, no doubt. Speaking of no doubt, Nodak Speedway, that's a prominent place. And have you ever been able to make it over there in Minot?
Nodak, we went there almost our first year. We almost won the damn race.
Oh, really?
In a 360, just because it was so dry over there. And we were just ripping the top in a 360, and everyone else was just being able to burn their tires off. And then, like an idiot, I just spun out and ruined the night and collected the car running third, and we were in second. It was fun, like, don't get me wrong, but
yeah.
And then we went there this year, or not this year, last year, 2 years ago, and they have a Tyler Fedek memorial. Kid that passed away used to race, and so they have this memorial every year, but it always ends up scheduled the same time that we end up scheduling a race somewhere else, so they don't get any cars, and it's hopefully it's something that can come back in the future.
Yeah, no doubt. That would be really cool and my buddy that I hang out with at Super Nationals a lot, Byron Fichter with Estevan Motor Speedway. That's a place I'd like to get to too. I mean, that's just across the border from.
They have a sprint car race. They didn't last year, but the year before they did, and I'm like, damn, that would have been fun to go to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that it looks like a really cool deal, definitely, but. But for you guys, 2024, kind of similar plans, just running the NOSA shows that you can and hitting all the races at River Cities?
Yep, as long as we get to work on our schedule to make it more friendly to everyone, I think that would be our plan so far. But we're still, another thing about shows, I've never raced Knoxville. All the crew guys are getting older, I'm getting older, I'm about to have 2 kids now. I got 1 now, but there's a lot of stuff that could end tomorrow, and you almost have to take your shots at some of this stuff. Like go race Knoxville, go race these big usage shows and stuff like that. Like even if you pick 12 shows a year that are just fun trips, it makes it a lot easier for the crew guys to enjoy it. It's not plugging away into the middle of nowhere somewhere and getting home at 4 a.m, type of thing. Like that's not fun for anyone.
Yeah. Well,
you don't want to have to do that just to get a couple points,
And it's also something you can tell your children or just yourself, like, well, hey, we did that, we did it once, and it wasn't what it was all hyped up to be, or it was, oh man, that was the greatest thing. I've been missing out my whole life. So.
Yeah. I'm glad I waited so long.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Yeah. Well, for you guys, as far as a lineup of sponsors or marketing partners, do you got a good list going so far coming into this next year?
Yeah. We got all our same sponsors retained. Like we just got the car apart 2 days ago because we've been. So like I was saying, we're sponsor funded, so we just try, you do everything you can to have fun with it and make it worth their while, year round. So we just got done with a holiday parade in town with the race car, and we put 4 tires from a payloader on the sprint car, and it is a giant monster truck, and it was so cool and it was so fun. And I'll have to send you a picture right after this, but it was a lot of fun, and it's just. Hugo's always takes care of us. It's a local grocery store around here. They got probably 15 grocery stores now, but Big. We got it right. Temp Mechanical. They're a big HVAC company around town. Chevrolet. Dad works for Chevy and has the ends and helps us sell the Chevy Performance. And Steffes Auctions. Just a big auction company, basically from Montana to Iowa, this whole area. So kind of just the big four that take care of us. We try to have four big ones that get recognized easily instead of 1,000 little ones that's tough to see. So.
Well, I'm glad you have such a great support system with you and your family and your race team. What's the best way for people to follow along as far as your upcoming schedule, or when you release a formal schedule of what dates you're going to for sure be at?
So it's our race page is Blackjack Motorsports on Facebook, or just Jack Croaker, or just my name on Twitter mostly. It's one thing I'm horrible at and need to be a lot better at is our social media stuff. So I think one of these days I'm going to have to bite the bullet and hire someone to do it. But yeah, just Blackjack Motorsports is our thing.
Awesome. And then apparel, you have an apparel run going right now, or is there going to be a new one come next year?
So we got about probably a quarter of our shirts left from last year. Yeah, we got tons still, but I think we'll kind of do maybe some smaller batch, kind of funky stuff this probably starting in January. We're going to get that rolling out. So yeah, that's what keeps us racing.
Nice. And people can order directly through your social media?
Facebook page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or catch it at the track.
Or catch me at the track.
That's wonderful. Well, it's been great getting up to speed with you, Jack, and I'm really looking forward to how everything turns out for the upcoming year. And obviously, congratulations to you and the missus on the upcoming new one.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, every year gets more fun as long as you like I said, put in the time to make it fun. You know, if you make it a chore, you're never going to do good and you're never going to enjoy it. So do the best you can to make yourself and crew guys and like you said, the missus happy, and hopefully it's something we can do for a long time.
Yes. And hopefully I know some people that I know in that area, hockey is big. Hockey is like religion. So hopefully you've been enjoying a lot of games. The New Year's classics are coming up.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, so are you a Wild fan, or do you like Edmonton or Calgary?
I'm not much of a pro hockey fan. I like Vancouver a little bit lately because Tucker Pullman graduated with me. So wherever Tucker kind of goes is kind of cool to watch. But UND hockey, University of North Dakota hockey is the big thing around here. They got this huge arena here, and it is insane.
I know I'm not allowed to say it, but go Fighting Sioux. So that's
go Fighting Sioux. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm gonna get some hate mail, but because my my roommate or office mate, you could say, for the Super Nationals last year is Nick Hulkberg with Minot, North Dakota's Nodak Speedways, the announcer there and stuff.
Yep.
We were talking, and I'm like, wasn't there some huge controversy about there was some wording on the voting of the name change for University of North Dakota? And he's like, oh, don't even get me started on that. And he's a huge hockey guy, so.
Yeah, no, it was a cluster for probably 3, 4, 5 years. It still is. I think it's going on damn near 20 years of that. No, not 20 years, probably 10 years of the name change. Mm-hmm. And it's still chanting Sioux at every game. It ain't going away.
Some like it on the ballot. It was written in a way that was confusing, and people thought they were voting to preserve it when they were voting to take it away. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's just a mess. But people are kind of starting to embrace they're fighting Hawks now.
Sure. Starting
to embrace it a little bit, and kind of most of the kids that are at the games, weren't around when it was the big Sioux Minnesota Gophers rivalry type stuff, so it doesn't affect enough people now. But a lot of the diehards it's got their heart for sure.
And I want to say they had a decent college football team too for a number of years.
Yeah, it hasn't been very good, but they've been really good the last 2 years now. So
yeah,
kind of finally got coming.
Well, it's been great to know all about you, and I can't wait to be watching you on River City Speedway's broadcast they'll have on the Speed Sport Network, and we'll stay in touch. We'll definitely, I'll be giving you a call probably next year and just check in on see how life is with 2 kids, because like I told you before, life is going to be getting real soon.
I was hoping for a call next week, but I guess I'll wait 2 years.
Yeah, no, it won't be 2 years. Oh, it'll be sometime when you get your win, when you get that first win that's coming. There we go.
Yeah, right before Christmas. There you
go. Yeah, perfect. Well, great talking to you, Jack, and I hope the holidays are great for you and the family.
You too, Ben. See you around.
This episode is a production of Highside Racing Promotions. Be sure to like the YouTube as well as Facebook page and like these videos. The more likes and the more attention it gets, and we would like to get as much information out to the racing community. Whenever or wherever you're watching these episodes, we hope that you enjoyed them